Hello, hello, welcome one, welcome all. Here we go, here we go. It is time to get the started stream. You just waited for a stream starting soon. What has this channel become? What have I become? I was supposed to be different. I was supposed to be on time and hetero, and here I am, putting stuff between me and you. Why intro with countdown? So you know it's coming. Also, I actually have to like tweak some stuff on the back end here where I need a second for my camera not being on the screen. But I want people to know that yes, I am going to be going live, so everything will be okay. So I have the little like starting soon dealy. And then it switches over to the countdown for here it comes so that I can tweak my camera settings as they were. It all makes sense. It makes sense on my end why I do that. It really does. It really does. Chainsaw Man changed me. Chainsaw Man has not changed me. It is... We'll get to Chainsaw Man. I'm going to save that for a little later in the episode. This is, you know, be a normal length episode. Well, might be a little short. Can't tweak it on your first two starting screen. Wait, no, I did. I tweaked it on the second starting screen. What doesn't anybody understand about this? Why is this an ununderstandable thing? All right, we're running Tanuki, and I've got a filled glass. Kampai, everyone.
Oh my gosh, did you say Chainsaw Man?
Why can't I do it on the first one? Because, okay, the first one is actually an OBS screen, right? That's this. This is an OBS screen that you're seeing right now. And so I have that play, and while that's playing, I've got my mic muted. I'm getting stuff like prepped on the back end. Then as soon as I'm like ready to go, I hit the intro on Restream, which then hides and mutes the webcam that I'm using, which is the OBS. And then while that is happening, I switched over to this because I had forgotten to turn on my actual camera. So I have to turn on the camera, and then I had to bump a bunch of settings around to make it function. So excuses. I'm giving you this is my recipe. Are you kidding? This ain't an excuse. This is a, hey, you want to do a stream? Here's some of the different things you'll have to figure out. Exactly. If you were on if we were doing like just Twitch and I was just playing games and I wasn't going through Restream, then I would be just using that little graphic, basically, right? That little graphic would be going. And then the other genius thing that I figured out, go into your YouTube studio and just pull up a song and hit play, because YouTube allows you to use those. So I use those, and then anything that's on Twitch could get sent over to YouTube, and I've already got the license to use it on YouTube. So bada bing, bada boom. I don't have to worry about the kind of intro music I'm playing, and it can sort of be anything I want it to be. It's a beautiful thing. 20 minutes before this stream, I was still working on the freaking labor and industries plan requirements for my food trailer, because they're awful. Restream on Odyssey. I don't think Restream lets you do Odyssey yet. Let's see, can I click around this without ruining anything? Add a destination. I could do until it makes sense to actually commission something for yourself. It works. Exactly. When this stream makes money, maybe I'll think about putting a little more time into it. I put quite a bit of time into this, actually, and it's built off of everything I've done in the past. Little fart. I can do Facebook. I can do Twitter. I can do Nemo. Wait, I think I could do a custom RTMP. That's probably the easiest way to stream to Odyssey if I needed to do that. You streamed at Daily Motion? Who watches streams on Daily Motion? Is that a thing? Do people actually like watch a stream on Daily Motion? Multi-streaming into Twitter feels weird. Yeah, doesn't it? Same with Facebook. There's a stream I watch that streams to Facebook as well, and I'll pull up both the Facebook and the YouTube stream just because it's funny because I have like my YouTube account and then my actual like name. It's just weird. It's just weird. Yeah, I didn't either. Keep giving me shit, Dragon Roos. Keep it up because the only way I get better is by you guys pointing out where I suck. Compi. Oh my goodness. I know that the Annie list mass updating drove some people nuts. However, I will say it has made for some interesting conversations. Apparently, not liking Wandering Witch, but liking Kino's journey is weird. I had no idea. I just, figured it wasn't as good. I was like, yeah, this doesn't feel as good. Why are so many of these marked as watching? Dang it! I hate when I do that. What's Kino's journey? Oh, Kino's journey is about a gal and a motorcycle that are traveling from town to town, and like each town has its own like unique thing that's only its. Very, very fun show overall. Wait, have I seen Licorice 5? I think I have. Yes, I have, 100%. And so it's sort of one of those anthology series where each episode is more about each town that she visits, but overall it's not. The Kino Casino. No, not that. Not the Kino Casino. You ever wonder if you should put something on pause or if you should just mark it as dropped? Like some stuff is like an easy drop, like Umaru-chan. It's like, yeah, that's a drop, no problem. Suedure Children, easy drop. But like Millionaire Detective wasn't the worst show ever, and I feel like at some point, if I'm bored, I might go back to it. Huh. These are the things I wonder about, I guess. Put it on pause. Don't know if you still want to watch it too. You're caught up on Licorice. Awesome. Episode 4 end scene. Fantastic. Fantastic is all I will say. And then episode 5, which is the one that I am updated on this weekend. Also very good. Quite enjoyed episode 5. Something you watch literally one episode of, like Dragon Maid. Anime Simos? Is that something I should not have said? Should not have read out loud? Okay. Fantastic is a... Oh no, spoiler! Watch out, everybody! Awesome. Simos? What? Am I supposed to say Simos or not? I don't understand. We got Kitty Bear watching from Twitch. Welcome from that side of the pond. Shut up, Trey. Ah, you people are crazy. Anyway, we got an interesting episode of Licorice Recoil. I see a direction it's going. And it's like I'm only on episode 5, so I know there's more episodes I should catch up with. But I feel like if I say where I think it's going, it's not going to it'll be like a spoiler for like what I think. I really like it though, but it's very, very similar to another anime that I like. It's kind of the interesting thing about Licorice is it's kind of like, oh, this is really good. Oh, this is really good. This is really good too. And they're sort of like mashing these different things together. and it's working. That I think is the most unique part. Is they're taking like little bits of other shows and kind of sticking them together, and it's working really well. So I'm very, very excited to see kind of where it goes. What is it, up to 7? Is that where we're at now? Released episodes. Gee, Baloo, I gotta catch up on that. Anime simps. Oh, I bet that chat gets deleted over on Twitch. I think the S word is a no word over on the Twitchiverse. Who's that fake kitty bear? See, now Kitty Bear can actually communicate with multiple personalities from different platforms. We're becoming more not ableist. What's the opposite of ableist? Accommodating. We're more accommodating now than ever before. So, welcome to Blaine's Escape Corner. We are now wheelchair accessible. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, there was some little news bits here that I saw that kind of excited me. Number one news bit that excited me is about a new manga coming out. And I mean that as a new manga, not an old manga coming out that we can all talk about. The Goblin Slayer writer is making a new manga called Moscow 2160. That's a title for current age to throw out. Well, Dragon, if you're going to throw shit, expect to get dirty. That's just kind of how life works. So you'll have to figure that one out. Maybe you can go retreat over to the Twitch chat and you won't be as picked on over there, but you might get more picked on over there, honestly. We'll find out. Anyway. Yeah, so this seems like an exciting little dealie. The one thing that's kind of strange about it is it's coming out in a Square Enix mag, and I guess I never really thought about Square Enix being any kind of publisher or place to go look at manga. Very strange. You finished watching My Roommate is a Cat, which I recommended, and you loved it. Oh, good! Oh, good! Roommate as a cat is one of those few things that, like, there's a whole series of them where it's She and Her Cat, My Roommate's a Cat, A Whisker Away. They're all cat-related anime. One of them is like a 4-minute short. I think She and Her Cat is the short. Really, really fun shows. I quite enjoy them. And they all sort of have that same sort of feel, same sort of just warm vibe. Quite enjoy it overall. 4 of me. Now we got cute furry ass out there. Our chat is expanding. We are inflating. We are inflating. You only have 3. Okay. Well, we'll get one more, I guess. Maybe that's what the Twitter stream will be for. Oh, bunger, if you just keep spelling it wrong. Also, the this cover art for the announcement, he looks like what is it? Slade from Teen Titans? Is that guy with the the Deathshot looking motherfucker who's like, "Oh, I got an orange mask, but I also shoot a gun." And it's like a PPSH with a drum mag. Like, it's just a very, very cool imagery coming up here. He looks like Blade. A little bit. I don't know. I still go to, I mean, obviously he's got a gun and a mask, so it's like Deathshot or Slater are always going to be my thoughts immediately. In the story, the Cold War has continued for 2 centuries. It kind of is. Do you know that Japan and Russia were at war up until like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, or whatever? That's all face. That's all Chernobyl face, they call him. Yeah, it's this interesting little bit of news that came. I don't remember when it came out. The Kuril Island dispute. So basically, after World War II, Russia and Japan were at war over islands known as the Kuril Islands, which are these. Hopefully, I can share this wiki page on this random ass dispute in history. So the Kuril Islands are this long row of islands that sort of go from Hokkaido up to Kamchatka, or however you pronounce Russian names. And so they fight over who owns which of these islands all the time. These are the disputed ones. The big ones next to Hokkaido, of course, are the ones that they were disputing against. And hopefully this gives me the wrap up as well, because that was the really interesting thing here is that World War II aftermath was ambiguous. So the Soviet Union and then subsequently Russia, like the Kuril Islands were supposed to be handed over, but then they didn't. And it was this long thing of like, well, now it's not the Soviet Union. So like, are we actually at war with these people? You know, shit gets confusing, especially when nations like completely change their governance, or at least on paper change their governance. They agreed to like inhabit them, but they still maintained the fact that they were kind of at war. U.S. warned Japan that a withdrawal of the Japanese claim on the islands would mean the U.S. would keep Okinawa. You know, if you back up from the Russians over there, I mean, Okinawa's ours. It's basically ours already. So you choose what you want in this. Like that's such a, it's such a negotiation. Like, okay, they have to keep it then. And then where was it? June 2022. They suspended the fishing treaty, stating that it was because Japan failed to make payments. Russia did not mention the Russo-Ukrainian War as a reason. 2009. Where's I thought there was one more update, like literally a couple years ago. 2018. Abe. 2019 talks. 2020. Oh no, the peace treaty didn't work. Never mind. They might still be at war. Russia started a military drill with troops. Yeah, no, this is like an ongoing thing, I guess. On June 7th, 2022, the Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman announced Russia's intent to cancel a 98 agreement with Japan, allowing Japanese fishermen to operate near the southern Kuril Islands, claiming that Japan is not meeting the financial obligations in the agreement. They designated the disputed islands as an illegal occupation in March. They're doing military drills. Yeah, no. So Russia and Japan are still kind of at war. It's this sort of weird thing that nobody thinks about except for the Russians and the Japanese who have to. Like, if you're in the Japanese diet, you probably understand what's going on, or you're the prime minister. But it's just like, it's such a weird little factoid where it's like, oh yeah, there's two what I would consider modern states are actively at war, and they're not. It's not like you can understand the Ukrainian war. Like, you don't have to agree with it, but you can understand Russia wanting land, and you can understand Ukraine saying no, because they feel close. Like, in my brain, I'm like, Russia and Ukraine, they're close. They speak similar languages, even if there is like a different dialect. Like, everything feels close about it. But this is like two different people. You know, like Russia, Ukraine feels like if America was like, hey, British Columbia is ours now. It just is. And your people that are there, they're ours too, because we're all basically the same Northwesterners. That's sort of how it feels. But like, Japan and Russia feel very opposing in many ways, and you're like, okay, they're still technically in conflict. This is crazy. No illegal ass occupation allowed here. Good. Get your illegal ass occupation out of here. Deathstroke or Deadshot, you mean? Sure. I am not a as little of a Marvel guy as I am. I'm even less of a DC guy. So I watch the Teen Titans cartoon show, and that's where my brain goes. And then I know that Will Smith played a guy that also was like in the comics would wear a helmet and shoot people. I'm so far back in chat. No, I just bounced around a little bit. We're getting to a point where it's getting difficult for me to read chat. And I'm not even monetized, so people can't send super chats to like have theirs stand out. I don't know what I'm gonna do. What are we, some kind of Minecraft squad? I don't know. You got me for DC knowledge. Thank you, Pop. I'll need that from time to time. Alrighty. Yen Press has the Goblin Slayer novels and the manga adaptation. Talking about, yeah, okay. I'm interested. I liked the concept of Goblin Slayer. I think Goblin Slayer worked well. I'm not a huge fan of the the Pokemon waifu knowledge for me. Thank you. I am not a huge fan of the vaguely medieval time period, like the medieval Europe. It's just so overdone for me, and I know part of that is because I grew up in America and I have so much like Western media that has that as its time period. But that just sort of like castles and dragons and all this kind of stuff where it's just like, oh, they breathe fire and they steal gold, and then we go back to the castle and we got knights that are fighting and that kind of stuff just never really got me. So like anime that's all set in that sort of same time period, because for a Japanese person, I can only imagine it's like when I'm learning about Japanese history, I'm like, whoa, samurai are awesome. They're probably thinking, whoa, knights are awesome. And so they love that time period, and it comes out in so many different isekai. But I'm kind of tired of it because it's just like, I know it's ancient, dark ages, who cares? But I want to move on to something interesting, something unique. Like give me this, give me Cold War. That is some 80s movie ass shit that I am ready to enjoy. I am ready to enjoy that. I hope they animate someone as just this giant hulking creature. It's just I want that. Give me that. So it'll be exciting to see his art style translated to a completely different time period, era, setting, everything about it. Japan is hated in many countries in Asia because of World War II. Makes you think why USA doesn't hate them also. Yeah. The Japanese, as much as I love the culture, as much as I love everything about Japan, they have done some terrible things. I will grant you, everyone in that area has done terrible things to everyone else in that area. That is, I mean, you just have to go back to what I'm talking about with like the ancient, sort of that ancient European history where everybody was a different nation fighting a different nation. That exact thing. You put too many countries too close to each other with very different feels and different ethnicities, different beliefs, different, even if they all kind of believe Buddhism, they're not really all Buddhist. So like they don't all agree on this thing. They all are like, no, mine's right, theirs right. This is my land, this is my island. No, we're gonna take your land. Like you watch something like the history of Japan musical song history lesson on YouTube, Bill Wirtz. And you're like, oh, they went terrible places and did awful things. That's not good. That's not good. But also not the people that are alive now. So it's one of those like, yeah, bad things happened in the past, but we should probably move on a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, goodness. I don't know geopolitics. What do you think I am? Some kind of Hassan Abbey or something? No. Just because I got big, floofy, pretty hair doesn't mean I'm some kind of himbo. Freaking fruit fly trying to get to my sake. Should know it's made of rice. You want to see Gate, but the Holy Roman Empire defeats Japan? You mean like modern Japan versus the Holy Roman Empire? I don't see anything. Even 50 years ago, even 20 years ago, like the modern anybody's military versus anybody's military from like 20 years ago, they're getting stomped. That's not how tech works, and it's getting quicker. You can probably find a way to like make that sort of story work where it's like, oh, and then they fell in the sand because the tank was too heavy, you know, whatever. You can Deus Ex Machina your way to that working, but like in reality, no. There's no way any modern military loses to a military from even 40 years ago, let alone 1,000 years ago. Would be like, God. You thought I knew everything because of these glasses? You forget the other half of that. Glasses, weak goatee, which I'm growing out. We'll see. We'll see if we can get strong goatee, but the way I figure it, if it's a weak goatee, you know it's a strong chin. So maybe I'll keep the weak goatee, just so you all know that I have a strong man chin. Gate does show it well. Definitely does. Kitty Bear's got it. Everyone in the world has done bad shit. Let it go and learn from it. Don't repeat it. At some point, that's got to be the answer. We just got to move on and see what else we can do in life, because what? We're just going to like focus on how everyone was bad forever. Like at some level, we get far enough away that forgiveness is possible and we can all move on. Japan would lose to the Romans. How? I don't see them losing to the Romans. Even with their not a military, they would still JSDF their way through everything. In special news coming through, we got a special here for Michael. They'd lose and make anime better. Okay, Michael, this one's for you. Uma Musume is getting a stage play in January. I don't know if you can find these stage plays that they always do for anime in any sort of like video format, but if you can, January 2023, the play will feature singing, dancing, and racing. We've got a cast already. The first 13 episode Uma Musume Pretty Derby television anime season premiered in April 2018. Crunchyroll streamed it, blah, blah, blah. We don't care. Second season, spin-off, special anime, new short, side game. Oh, they're just saying about all the stuff there. What do I mean, a stage play? I mean a stage play. Japan does this all the time. They're like, oh, people like Rurouni Kenshin. What if we did a play? And they just have a stage play of Rurouni Kenshin, which is apparently really good. I've never seen it. I've only ever seen the posters in the subway for it. But they like to do stage plays. They like to have people acting and dancing and physically, emoting. It's sort of like Rent a Girlfriend, with Chisato trying to do her acting thing. Like, it's a very common in Japan to see these stage plays based on anime. Just remembered a movie, but you don't remember the name. Well, give us some hints and we'll see if we can figure it out. Thought I was talking about Monster Musume. Get out of here. They're not going to get a Monster Musume stage play. Can you imagine the budget for something like that? All right, there is the news. Alrighty, one second. I need to check on this. See what my. Yep. Okay. Perfect. Alrighty. They just have to invent monster girls, then we get the stage play. They could. They could do that. You thought I said that too. Well, you hear what you like and you like what you hear. That's what gets me views. Oh, all right. First story. This will probably be a quickie. I freaking love Space Dandy. Space Dandy is one of these shows that is so unique, so interesting that it released in America in English before it released in Japan. Crazy. It's crazy. This show dropped, and I thought we were going to get a new future for anime, where anime would come to the West without having to stop by Japan first. I was like, whoa, studios making anime? And to an extent, we kind of do. Like, I don't know, did Star Wars Visions, like, drop in Japan first, or was it sort of just everywhere at once? I don't know, because I haven't looked at, like, release dates worldwide. But I was expecting it to be a little more prevalent, that it'd be like, well, this will test well with an American audience, but it won't do well with a Japanese audience. We'll drop it in English first and just let them have fun with it. So I quite enjoy Space Dandy. It's a very, very fun one. Space Dandy's opening theme tune contains all you need to know about the series. Space Dandy. He's a dandy guy in space. You found it already? Gee, Baloo, you're fast on that one. You're fast on that one. It says all fans need to know about what the show's about, what kinds of characters there are, and what the tone is, and more. Spoiler Gundam? For Dandy Guy in Space? You serious right now? Making me bring out my Spoiler Gundam? Wish I could move my Gundam. How do I do this? All right, I'm gonna do this. We'll do this, and we'll put him here. Spoiler Gundam. You know how to Google? Good. You've learned well. Oh, he's not on the screen yet. Come on. Are you good? Are you good? Can we flip you? Transform. Flip. Bingo. Because that's what they do. That's how they animate Gundams. They do a flip transform on them. All right, so I'll just be here. Gundam be over there, and Space Dandy's over there. All right. Spoilers for Space Dandy. He's a dandy guy in space. Space Dandy was released between January and September 2014. It first grabbed American audiences' attention with an advertisement stating it was from the creators of Soul Eater, Full Metal Alchemist, and Cowboy Bebop. Intrigued fans who tuned into Toonami on Saturday nights were treated to a psychedelic space adventures, and precisely the kind of material that the commercials promised. It was directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, the legendary director behind Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. In the past, the series was also animated by Bones. Oh, in the past. The series was also animated by Bones, who has advertised animated Soul Eater and FMA. For a better idea of Space Dandy's more avant-garde moments of animation, they also went on to animate Mob Psycho 100. And there's a lot of Mob Psycho flirly-burly that you can see when you watch Space Dandy. So if you haven't seen Space Dandy and you like the flirly-burly of the Mob Psycho, go watch it. The style of storytelling and animation these two creative bodies are known for can be felt all throughout Space Dandy. Look at him. He's a dandy guy. He's just so dandy. The show follows the adventures of the eponymous Space Dandy. He is accompanied by the robot QT and the cat-like alien Meow. The three of them travel the galaxy aboard the Aloha Oi in search of undiscovered alien life. On the off chance that they find any, they can register it and earn a large sum of money. Isn't there a live-action Mob Psycho? Google away. Live action Mob Psycho. There's a TV miniseries from 2018. There's a Netflix live action. It's a very Japanesey live action. That is funny. Yes. Apparently there was at least a trailer for a Mob Psycho 100 Netflix live action series. So check it out, see what you think, enjoy it. At the same time, unbeknownst to them, Dandy is being pursued by Dr. Gel of the Gogol Empire, who believes he is the source of some great power. Like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, Space Dandy is episodic and essentially a series of short stories that don't really have any bearing on each other. Regardless, each one of them is packed with so much emotion and meaning that they almost feel like they could function as their own feature-length films. While there are echoes of an overarching story, most episodes can be watched and enjoyed completely independent of one another. When Big Larry came around just to put him down, SpongeBob turned into a clown, and no one very wants to dance with a fool who went and ripped his pants. Interesting. This factors into another important aspect of Space Dandy, its absurdist humor. The series uses a sci-fi setting to put its over-the-top characters into this out-of-world scenarios. Adding the extravagance of quality animation to this makes it uniquely entertaining. However, they do cut some corners when it comes to explosions. Everything that breaks in cubes so they can do it quicker and faster and easier. It's an aesthetic choice, I'm sure. Of course, not everything is comedic. The show can cover a broad range of emotions when it really wants to. It can be heartwarming, tragic, upbeat, or even thought-provoking, depending on what story is being told. It's just that the comedic tone is at the center of the series. Did I watch Once Upon a Time in Xinjiang Mountain yet? Because you haven't been able to find out which series it is the live action of. I have not. Is it not a another retelling of Once Upon a Time in Mexico? Is it not that? It's also worth noting that this is one of the rare anime where fans prefer listening to the English dub over the original Japanese. Part of this has to do with the fact that many episodes from season 1 actually premiered on America's Toonami block before their Japanese release. Clip it, he said the thing. I don't know what I said. Besides that, Funimation used some pretty talented voice actors on this project. Colleen Klinkenbeard, J. Michael Tatum, and Joel McDonald are just a few examples. Additionally, Ian Sinclair is so perfect as Dandy that he reprised the role convincingly in a live-action commercial for the Season 1 DVDs and Blu-rays. These actors really breathed life into their characters with enjoyable and memorable performances. For everything Space Dandy did for its audience, it doesn't get talked about a lot nowadays. This might have to do with the fact that the series is almost a decade old now. Anime fans who haven't seen it should make room in their schedules to do so. Those who have seen it should spread the word. Space Dandy may be old, but it's still a creative masterpiece. Congratulations! You now all know that Space Dandy's a thing that you should watch. And now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should get a different thing here. What the heck is that thing's name? As we move into our final story of the night. Are none of these going to be what I need from them? Unless you're mistaken, the original is Japanese. Okay. Okay. I don't know at that point. But we can work on it to figure it out together. Where is gonna be the best? Do you wish there was more Lesbo stuff? More? Did you read it or watch it? I think if you put more in, you'd have to increase the rating. Oh, that's terrifying. Why does that exist? Why do all of these things exist? Okay. What do I want? What do I want here? I need to find a new thing so that I can have spoiler for Chainsaw Man noted. So let's do this. We'll just pick an easy one for right now. we'll pick increase the rating from an 8 to a 9. Code Geass. You watched it, you haven't caught up, and you need to. You're on the cusp of an amazing adventure with the Danganronpa theme. Well, I'm starting an amazing adventure, is what people tell me. I'm just gonna use this one. Hold on, I gotta edit this first. Hold on. I don't really wanna. I gotta turn this into a clear background. I gotta do the blah blah. Everyone dies in the end. Everyone dies in the end. What are we doing here? Why are we going there? Oh no. You don't know how you feel about chapter 1, to be honest. It wasn't your favorite. Well, I will tell you what to think about chapter 1, because you're probably right. You're probably right. Just give me a second here. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared. I need to make my Chainsaw Man spoiler thingy. Make it a ping. Ping ping. Images. Chainsaw spoilers. Maybe there's a Chainsaw Gundam. Maybe I can find that. That'd be kind of cool. We'll worry about that later. For now, let's just add our ass a image source. Chainsaw. Okay. Browse. Jibaloo. You know, I do stuff during the day. I don't have 100% of the time to dedicate to the stream, so I have to do the stream stuff with everybody. So I hope you all enjoy watching me do the stream stuff, because it's basically the stuff that I gotta do. Oh, I gotta go to images. Images. Chainsaw spoilers. Bingo! Alrighty. Dude just wants spoilers from Google. Alrighty, here we go. It's like the King's Avatar, a Chinese live action from something that was Japanese. Let's see if we can figure this out for Kitty Bear real quick. King's Avatar. Source material. King's Avatar web series based on a web novel of the same name depicted the esports scene in China. So that's a web novel. Is the one that comes up quickly. But then you said once upon a time in Jingjiang. Jingshan. Source material. Do 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 do. Sure, it's not just based on like the Three Kingdoms, and there's a lot of anime about the Three Kingdoms. You really like the first demon that Denji fights? The first one was kind of dumb. The first one was kind of dumb. What are you face palming for? I haven't said anything. Goodness. Show is based on a Chinese web comic. Once upon a time in Lingjiang Mountain. So this is another Chinese web comic. All right, there you go. There you go. If those are wrong, then you're on your own. But I did my part. You know the history behind tomatoes. What tomato history? You're talking about the history where tomatoes absorb the lead poisoning, so we put them in a pot made of lead and cook with them so that you pull them out Then I don't even know if that's real, but then it was like, oh, tomatoes are basically poison because if you ate the tomato, you die. So they would pull the tomatoes out and then they'd throw them at people who were stuck in the stalks. Is that the tomato history you're looking for? You watch the anime, then you watch the live action years later. All right. I watched or read episode 1, chapter 1. My face has a line on it from the dog. Wait, really? Does it? How about now? That'll theoretically get rid of any of that. How about now? Did that get rid of it? I just get rid of all the edges and it'll be fine. I swatted it. All right, cool. All right, so we got Chainsaw. We got Pochita from Chainsaw. It's Spoiler Gundam hanging out. That means when you see this combo, we are looking at Chainsaw Man spoilers. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Basically, I have not read a manga from an anime since Initial D, and I was in high school. Tomatoes. They're called Italians. Oh, woe is me. What am I gonna do? I insulted the Italians. Keep the chainsaw away from Gundo crotch. All right, we can do that. I have not read a manga about an ongoing anime in a very long time. And as you all know, anyone who's here watching this, who is not a part of the OG squad, if you weren't in the anti-hentai bot brigade, if you weren't in the post Brandon era, we are talking to you now because of this little guy right here, this little Pochita, this little chainsaw man, because the algorithm was like, oh, chainsaw stuff. What if everyone saw this? And it just explodes. And I was like, okay, last season we had some bangers and they did pretty well. But this is the first time that I've talked about something where the world was like, we want to hear about this something. And I thought, why would I talk about something just reading articles about it, just looking at announcements, just looking at articles, just looking at announcements, trailers, Twitter. Like, if I keep looking at like Twitter to see what they think about these new Chainsaw Man things or how excited they are about Chainsaw Man things, that's going to get pretty damn boring. So what I have decided is that unlike my past, where I don't watch or read the manga, because I like anime. I like animation. I like the movement of the picture. I think there's something so cool and so unique about the squash and stretch, all this stuff that you do when you're animating something in order to make it work on a visual medium. I love comic books. I love manga. I again, when I was reading manga, it was because I ran out of Initial D and they hadn't made any more, so I started reading the manga so I could keep it going. And I really enjoyed seeing how they tried to draw cars that were moving, but it wasn't moving. So I definitely prefer animation. However, I think it would be irresponsible of me to try to get people hyped up about something or try to figure out why people are hyped up about something without reading in it and getting into it myself. So I have decided that I'm going to read Chainsaw Man. And my goal is to finish all of what they plan to adapt before it adapts, which I need to look up to make sure that I'm reading the right chapters and I stop at the right point, because I think Michael was telling me, like, I need to know the pacing in the manga is really good. So as long as the pacing in the anime is good as well, that it's going to be enjoyable. But I want to figure out what it is, so that I can read it and I can sort of plan it out so that I can say, hey, we've read all these chapters by this date, and we'll figure out what it's like. Who is Chainsaw Man's enemy? Hacksaw Man or Axeman? You know it's Dull Man and Rust Man. Those are Chainsaw Man's enemy, at least in my life. And so, in preparation for the episode, you probably could have read it in a few days. It's pretty quick. You said they'll ruin the show if they change it. Yes, I mean that's kind of what I just said. Like if they pace it well in the anime, and they stick to the story, that everything will be okay. Never read a manga before. Flipped through one of my cousin Naruto's volume backwards. Does it meet the hype? Also, Spike Tree would be his enemy as well. Hardwood, damn it! No fuel and no oil, man. Yeah, exactly. Well, those lead to Rust Man and Dull Man coming out. I had to laugh because I pulled up. I'm reading these on Viz because Viz lets you read the first few chapters for free without even making an account. So I'll have to make an account eventually. But I sat there and it was like, use arrow key. It just says use arrow keys and has both arrow keys. And says use arrow keys to turn pages. And I just kept hitting the right arrow key and it wasn't doing anything. I was like, one page? What the? And I was like, oh, I'm freaking stupid. I have to flip it backwards. Because it's, it's a manga. This first chapter is 57 pages. That's pretty hefty. Like we're talking about Berserk chapter 1 size. Like that is a hefty initial opening to get everything set up and established. There's some good here. There's some good in this first chapter. They assume that you can figure out that when they say, oh, it's a devil, that it's just kind of some kind of monster mutant thing, and maybe we'll get to that later. We don't need to explain that in episode 1 or chapter 1. We can just sort of say, yep, it's a big demon, and we know what demons are. They're the monsters, it's the devils, we killed it. All right, cool, we move on. Doesn't waste time trying to explain what it is. Does a really quick single page to explain what our character's predicament is. Really does very well at that. Like the studio hard-shipping Kenshin and Kaoru instead of focusing on the stories. Oh my goodness. Clothman, yeah, Clothman would probably get stuck as well. Ugh. Unless it's an electric chainsaw, then it'd be like cutting your own cord, man. So as we read this first page, the first page and second page technically are inked. And the thing that steps out to me is a real lack of detail in the people, which I feel like might be a creative choice that works well as we move forward. But it really kind of stood out to me that our main boy's hair looks like the artist just kind of and just kind of got it on paper. So when we were reading that article about how Tatsuki Fujimoto, is that his name? Yeah, Tatsuki Fujimoto. How his greatest gift is storytelling. Might have been a backhanded insult of his ability to draw, because his drawings look very like as much as they need to be, which is a fine. You know, his drawings aren't bad, but like Pochita in some of these first scenes is literally just this sort of like circle with like some legs, and it looks like something you'd see on like a Tumblr blog or something like that. The panels are literally just like a face and just all word bubbles with no real background or anything. So it's very story heavy. It's like, here's the character who's talking. Here's like, maybe you see like the car around the head, like the car door or something. And and that's the little bit of like setting you get. When you do see like full scenes with like here's a street, here's a lamppost, here's like all this extra little bit, some of the lines all feel very, very straight, very like this is the way the line goes, and like they were drawing it on a computer with a line tool instead of drawing it on a computer with a pen. So there's some interesting choices going on through the artistic side of things, and then just randomly you get this like incredibly detailed just one like rectangle in the middle of an entire page. It's like, here's a rectangle with nothing and our character, here's a rectangle with nothing and like a head and a dialogue box, and then here is a super detailed, lots of line work, very expressive single piece, to the point where it doesn't feel like it's the same artist doing the same thing. Like it's very, very strange. Very, very strange. The only thing you need to know is that the chainsaw gets sharper, harder, more powerful based off of willpower or emotion. Don't know yet. We'll find out. The whole opening does a really good job at setting up like who our character is, why they exist, what their grouping is. It lets us know about this little guy here. Like it's really good first chapter from a storytelling point of view, but it was very, very jarring from a drawing and like stylistic point of view. You go from these very, very dark black, lots of detail, lots of gray work panels to a panel that's empty except for somebody's head. Once he stops being starving homeless guy, it changes. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know which way it would change. But we get our first sort of like devil that's too much for him, and we get our chainsaw man becomes a thing, as you would assume based on it being called Chainsaw Man. But there was something here that really made me, where was it? I can't tell if it's the translation or if it's the author, if they're actually writing that. But like some of the story and some of the dialogue is very, very base, very like I will do this and you will do that. I did this, will you do this for me? Like it's a very, very flat the way it's written. So I don't know if it's specifically that way in the in Japanese. Maybe it's a little bit different, but I don't know. It felt very in the same way that I was making fun of Fire Punch as being like a really simplistic title. It feels like a lot of the dialogue is equally simplistic. Oh yeah, right here. So big spoilers on this one for the first chapter. This devil literally says this phrase: "Too bad my power turns people into zombies, 'cause I'm a zombie devil." Do I blame the translators when they could have said, "Too bad I'm a zombie devil who turns people into my puppets," or something a little bit more enjoyable than that? But yeah, there's a lot of the dialogue was just very devil hunters kill us devils. I hate them, so I kill them. It's like, okay, you could have just said like, There's nothing I hate more than devil hunters. I'm gonna kill you, or I kill everyone I come across. You know, give me a little bit more. So like, I could blame the translator here, but I don't know if it's just as bad in Japanese. I'd have to talk to someone who speaks and reads Japanese to know if the Devilman translation or the Devilman original is similarly, because Japanese is a very easy language to just say. For that example, like the too bad my power turns people into zombies, because I'm a zombie devil, could be literally like warui power wa like turn like zombie, whatever zombie turn into would be. Like you can say literally these like bad power makes zombies, and then the next one in Japanese could be ore boku wa zombie devil, like, you know, something like that. So like it could literally be a literal translation of what was written in Japanese, or it could be using more eloquence similar to like a haiku that's not translating well. So I'll see if I can find somebody who knows Japanese who can like tell me if the Chainsaw Man dialogue is good and it's just not being translated well, or if it's just kind of okay. Got a real vermeil in gold sort of thing going on here, which always excites me. I like the way that our powers work. I like the suddenly basic. What page is this? Page 39, 38 and 39 is when our artist was like, oh, yeah, I'll spend a lot of time on these. And so we have some really, really, really detailed pages that come in through and moving on past page 40. But even these detailed pages, there's a lot of little just scratch marks. Like here's a squiggly, and then here's, you know, some cross hatching. It's like that squiggly crosses over the cross hatching, which is sort of, it's just weird. It doesn't look as immediate as like you're like, okay, I'll just kind of glance at it. Oh, that looked pretty good. But then when I look at it, it's like, oh, this looks like a first draft. Like he needed to erase those and kind of clean some of that up. So it's very. I'll be interested to see if this style continues, where it looks like he left a lot of sketches on the board that should have been cleaned up or made a little bit cleaner. But it does increase the lines per page, kind of moving through the book. So I'll be interested to see if it maintains or if it continues as far as this style goes. I'm gonna have to get I'll get Joe Ball to look at a couple of these just to let me know what he thinks. If he can identify what it feels like, because it's something very specific to this that has it very sketchy compared to a lot of the death stuff, where it's like hard to find a line that wasn't supposed to be there. And then it sort of it ends again with more sort of blank pages. So I'm guessing it's stylistic, but it still feels, it's very jarring as you read it. So we'll see. Overall, I agree with Mappa. Amazing story. Really amazing story. This is exactly what we want in our anime about people who hunt demons and devils. This is exactly what we want in our superheroes who are, Devilman crybabies of the world, who bridge gaps, who are stuck in a bad situation. Like this is another thing we want. Having chapter 1 end the way it does, though, with oh, I'm here now, I'll take care of you, is a bit of a like, you couldn't let us suffer for a couple chapters. Like, come on, you can do better than this. We can have some sorrow here. It's not a problem. Look at Berserk. The whole thing is sad. So we'll see. We'll see. Sounds like a common way for low intelligent creatures to speak. Potentially, but the problem is that the creature that speaks isn't low intelligence, because it's capable of having other humans mimic reality, or like talk like very like it's a very eloquent line right before that, before you get to the devil. So it's interesting. We'll see. Should you make another pot of coffee, or just half pot, or just go coffeeless? Depends. Are you like me where caffeine doesn't keep you up at night? Then make a half pot, because it's probably pretty late, depending on where you're at. But if you're not a person who can handle late night caffeine, then no. Drink some water, maybe some tea, maybe I don't know, anything that keeps the coffee out of you. I do want to say again, it's really, really good narratively. I really like the way that it goes. I have some minor nitpicks. The art style, I want to see it transform. I want to see it get better. This is for chapter 1. This is chapter 1. There's 380, 360, like 380 chapters of Berserk, and like Mura got really good around chapter 100. So I don't know how many chapters of stuff that Fujimoto has done prior to Chainsaw Man, but I'm hoping to see a change kind of as we move forward. So I like it. Small nitpicks, but I can definitely see where they're like, oh yeah, this will make a good anime, because like I can see the anime as I'm reading the chapter. Last time you mentioned pacing. We don't get to see him suffer more because the pacing is wild. The author didn't want to create gaps to fill in, so he just cuts it short. I get cutting it short, but to end for me, I'll have to see what chapter 2 has, right? Of course. I've only read chapter 1, but for me, you start a character in the dumps, and then at the end, you give them the hope of having a power to get them out of the dumps, but you don't immediately have the savior descend, right? Like it's like that Overwatch commercial where like Mercy comes down and like reaches out to the kid. It's like we don't need that moment in chapter 1. We can have our character be a little bit in the dumps and get a new power, but then also be like, well, now the fuck what? And he just kind of has to like wander, and it just ends with him like maybe wandering out or something like that, or gets the power, uses the power, and then it ends. We can wait until chapter 2 to get that sort of payoff. So it's interesting. Hot bean juice. There's a little coffee stand in the Seattle area called Bean Water. Always makes me laugh. Little coffee stand. The Sorrows of Only Reading Chapter 1. You got to remember, these released one chapter at a time. So I'm going to read them one chapter at a time in the same way that they would have released. So sorrows they may be, they were built that way by the author. So if the author wants to stop chapter 1 at that point, that's up to them. So if he had just pushed those last, like maybe just don't do that last page, I'd probably be more invested in it as a show. Again, we're going to be doing all of these, so I've got a bunch more. We'll catch up. But for now, that is going to be it for me from the Escape Corner this wonderful Monday. And a Monday, we can get rid of our little buddies. Ugh. Alrighty. Thank you, one. Thank you all for tuning in. It has been a wonderful Monday. Mondays from now on have to cut a little short. So while we may go until 9, 10, 11 o'clock on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday, Mondays and Thursdays have to cut a little short. Only Neiman is on? Did you spell Newman wrong? Nearman. Oh. only Nearman. You could go. I'm sure there's someone else you could watch. Somebody else you could find you could hang out with. Why would anyone drink water when it comes from the ground people walk on and the lake people swim in? Yeah, give me that ball sack tea water. That's what it is for me. Beautiful. Give me more. That's why everybody drinks Fiji water, because only pretty people swim in that water. It's Nearman or VTuber. Oh my goodness. Is Erudite or somebody not streaming right now? I don't know. You guys can search who the algorithm. Fresh and Fit is on. See, you got Fresh and Fit, Destiny, probably Erudite. I don't have raid capabilities on anyone. Not even Joe Nearman. Go to Joe Nearman. Go to Joe Nearman and tell him, let Blaine's Escape Corner raid you, you bigot. Go tell him that, okay? You don't want to watch anime girls play Rust? No, he's had enough watching my anime ass play this. Blaine is slack. I'm not slacking. It's the opposite of slacking. I'm making sure my life is balanced. The whole point of the escape corner was to have healthy escapism. And how can I preach about having healthy escapism with a well-balanced life if I don't have a well-balanced life with healthy escapism? What, do you want me just to be some sort of like upset NEET that hates the world? And I'll be like, you guys should all do escapism better. And it's just like, get out of here. Get out of here. I do me. I do me. And you listen. You watch me. What I will do, what I will tell you, okay, since Mondays and Thursdays have to be cut short for now, we will look at doing Twitch before on Monday at least, so that we can have some Twitch time earlier. However, speaking of me slacking, I will not be streaming tomorrow. Oh, Mondays and Thursdays? Yes, we can look at Mondays and Thursdays before stream doing Twitch, since I have to end those days early. Wow. Yeah, just wait. I'm gonna just put the starting soon back on. I'm just gonna leave it on for 24 hours and see how many people watch the stream then. What? No stream on a Tuesday? What's wrong with you? It's gonna happen. I'm just gonna, rather than streaming on tomorrow, I'm just gonna start the stream and put the starting soon on and just wait until Wednesday. Then bots invade the chat and you get banned. No way. I've got the anti-bot brigade. You guys are there. We're good. Art of the deal. Deal changed. Oh, you were the one sending in those bots. That's the secret. You were like, I don't want to talk about this California law. It's too much butt stuff. Well, if you want to chat it up the entire time, you can join the Discord. You can join in on anything that I post on Twitter. I'll definitely still be there. Local is still good for announcements. The anti-bot brigade is weak because the race is you know, sometimes fascistic tendencies can be good in leadership that needs to execute quick and decisive action. So I get it. I get it. But choices were made. Choices were made and we have to stick to them. So thank you, thank you all. This has been Blaine's Escape Corner. I love chatting with you guys. It really is sad for me to have to leave you on Mondays, Thursdays. But I'm gonna make it through. Promise. I would be strong. I will see you all tomorrow for Titty Tuesday. No, dang it, I won't see you. Dang it, we won't see each other until Waifu Wednesday. All right, I'll see you all on Waifu Wednesday. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your evening and enjoy the rest of your night and your Tuesday. I'll see you on Wednesday. Kampai, everyone.